Hi students, in this video we are going to discuss about optical fibers which are widely used in telecommunication nowadays. They are used to send the information in the form of light signals using the phenomenon called total internal reflection. The optical fibers have two important parts. The inner part, which is known as core. The outer part, which surrounds the core, is known as cladding or sleeving. The refractive index of the core must be greater than refractive index of the cladding for total internal reflection to happen in the optical fiber. Here this inner part is known as core, the outer part is known as cladding. Signal in the form of light is made to incident inside the core and the cladding boundary at an angle greater than the critical angle. Hence, it undergoes repeated total internal reflection along the length of the fiber without undergoing any refraction. So, signal is going to incident at the boundary of the core and the cladding. Here this angle should be greater than the critical angle. Then that undergoes total internal reflection. So that ray cannot escape from the cladding, that will be reflected within the core itself. So here also that angle will be more than critical angle, then another one total internal reflection. So likewise it will undergoes total internal reflection within the core itself. Here we have to think what will happen if the angle of incidence is less than the critical angle. For example, this light signal is going to incident at the boundary with this angle. So in the previous case, angle of incidence is more. Here this angle is less than the critical angle. Then what will happen? That signal undergoes normal refraction, so that can escape from the cladding. So we can't send the light signal from one place to another place. So angle of incidence plays the important role in the optical fibers. Initially, if the angle of incidence is adjusted, the light signals can undergoes total internal reflection within an optical fiber, even if the optical fiber is bent like this. The signal which sent in the one end can be received without any change in intensity in the other point. Now we are going to find the acceptance angle in optical fiber. To ensure the critical angle incident in the core cladding boundary inside the optical fiber, the light should be incident at a certain angle at the end of the optical fiber while entering into it. That angle is known as acceptance angle. That depends on the refractive indexes of the different media. Here this part is known as core, that has the refractive index N1. The core is surrounded by the cladding, which is made up of the material has the refractive index N2. So outside of the optical fiber we have the medium that has the refractive index N3. So there are three refractive indexes. Let us assume the light is incident at an angle called acceptance angle IA on the outer medium and the core boundary at point A. So here the point A lies in the boundary which divides the outer medium and the core. The light signal now travel from outer medium to core medium. That means rarer medium to denser medium. Then what will happen? There will be a refraction. So the refracted ray in the core is going to incident at the boundary which separates the core and the cladding at the point B. Here we have adjust that angle of incident to ensure the total internal reflection inside the core. To have the total internal reflection inside the optical fiber, the angle of incident at the core cladding interface at point B should be at least critical angle IC. Here I have drawn the normal line at the point B. For this point B, it is only the incident ray. So angle between the incident ray and the normally known as angle of incidence. Here to make the total internal reflection, at least that angle should be equal to IC, critical angle. Then what will happen to the refracted ray? That will lies in the boundary itself. That means angle of refraction will be 90 degree. The refracted ray lies in the boundary which separates the core and the cladding. Two normal lines meet at the point C. The Snell's law in the product form for the refraction at the point A can be written as, let us write the general expression of Snell's law, N1 sin I that is equal to N2 sin R. So here refractive index are the first medium. At the point A, which is the first medium, outer medium is the first medium, so you have to substitute the refractive index of the outer medium. So N3 sin I, angle of incident in the outer medium. So sin IA, acceptance angle, that only you are going to find. It's a second medium where the refraction is taken place. At point A I am going to write. So at the point A, what is the second medium? Core is the second medium. So that has a refractive index N1 sin. What is the angle of refraction? Let us take that as a RA. Likewise, Snell's law in the product form can be written for the refraction at the point B also. Using this general expression, we can write refractive index of the first medium. For point B, the light ray travels from the core. So you have to apply the refractive index of the core. That is nothing but a N1 sin. To ensure the total internal reflection inside the optical fiber, we need the angle more than the critical angle. Here we have taken at least it is equal to critical angle. So we can substitute IC. More than critical angle means that will be better. It is equal to refractive index of the second medium. At point B, it is on the boundary. We can substitute the refractive index of the cladding. We can take that as a second medium. So N2 sin R. We know that if the angle of incidence is equal to critical angle, the angle of refraction will be 90 degree. So sin 91. So no need to mention that. From the right angle triangle ABC, we can find the value of IC. How we can find? Total angle in the triangle will be equal to 180. So what are the angles are there? RA plus IC. Since it is a right angle triangle, plus third angle is 90 degree, that is equal to 180. You have to find the value of IC, critical angle, that is equal to 90 can be taken that side. 180 minus 90, 90. That RA can be taken to right side. So IC that is equal to 90 minus RA. Here you can rearrange to find the value of sin IC. Sin IC that is equal to N2 by N1. Here already I have found the value of IC that can be substituted in this expression. So instead of IC, 90 minus RA that is equal to N2 by N1. What is the value of sin 90 plus theta or sin 90 minus theta, that is equal to cos theta. So here it can be written as cos RA that is equal to N2 by N1. Let us take this equation as a first equation. It can be taken as second equation. It can be the third one. This equation is a well-known equation. Sin square theta plus cos square theta that is equal to 1. Then what is the value of sin square theta? Sin square theta that is equal to cos square theta can be taken that side. 1 minus cos square theta. From there easily you can find the value of sin theta. For that you have to take the square root here. For the right side also you can take the square root. Here you can write for the angle RA. So as per this expression, sin RA, that is equal to root of 1 minus cos square RA. So in this expression we are going to substitute the equation 3, where you can get the value of cos RA, which is equal to n2 by n1. So here instead of cos square RA we can substitute the value n2 by n1. That is only the equation 3 square. That square can be taken inside. Now we can do the cross multiplication. So sin RA, that is equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square by n1 square. Now this expression can be applied in the equation 1. So let me rewrite the equation 1. It is only the equation 1. In this equation we are going to substitute the value of sin RA. So n3 sin IA, that is equal to n1, instead of sin RA you can substitute this value, n1 square minus n2 square divided by n1 square. If the denominator value n1 square is taken outside of the square root, then that will be n1. So already n1 is there, that will be cancelled. So this expression can be written like this. To find the value of IA, that is acceptance angle, you can take that n3 to the right side. This n3 also can be taken inside the square root, but only one change you have to make, n3 square want to be there. Easily you can find the value of IA. So sin can be taken to the right side. So IA, that is equal to sin inverse of this value, root of n1 square minus n2 square by n3 square. Using this expression you can easily find the acceptance angle, which decides the total internal reflection inside the optical fiber. It is a special case. If the outer medium is air, then n3 can be considered as 1. Now the acceptance angle can be modified as IA, that is equal to sin inverse of root of n1 square minus n2 square divided by n3. For air it is 1. So it is only the expression for the acceptance angle. What is the previous expression for this equation? Let me write here, n3 sin IA, that is equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square. Here the term n3 sin IA is called as numerical aperture, which is given by the short form NA. If the outer medium is air, then n3 can be taken as 1. So the numerical aperture become NA, that is equal to, now n3 is taken as 1, sin IA, that is equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square. In optical fiber, light can have any angle of incidence from 0 to IA with the normal at the end of the optical fiber, forming a conical shape called acceptance cone. For example, light can enter into the optical fiber along this normal line, then the angle of incidence can be taken as 0. From the previous discussion, what is the maximum angle to make a total internal reflection inside the optical fiber? That is acceptance angle IA. So likewise, in this direction also light can enter. So for here 0 to IA. So three-dimensionally you can imagine, you can get the conical shape. So that conical shape only known as acceptance cone. If the light ray enter through the conical shape, can make the total internal reflection inside the optical fiber. The light ray which is going to incident outside of the acceptance cone cannot make the total internal reflection inside the optical fiber.